Good morning, guys. An Arkansas trapper here, and we're pulling back in here to this water reservoir. We got the two traps set yesterday, and my hope, I brought some footholds and drowning rods with me this morning, so we're going to carry them back in there to that hut this morning and get those set. But my hope is that we've got two beavers caught this morning in those two traps that we see yesterday. And if that's the case, we're going to pull everything out of here and call the property caretaker and let him know we've got these beaver back out of here again. If not, we'll get these two traps set and hopefully have them caught in the next few days, and call this season an end, maybe. But I keep saying that, and then I keep getting called back out. But season actually comes to an end here at the end of the month, and unless one of my farmers call me later on in the summer, I won't get back out and do any nuisance trapping. I've got a lot of other responsibilities that's gotta take hold above being out here every morning. But speaking of those, there's nothing like the beginning of April coming to get someone motivated to get their taxes done. That's one thing I've got to get done today. I got to get all my numbers crunched, but I've got to get those done and get those taken to an accountant and get my taxes done. I've procrastinated long enough this year. Guys, we're here. Here's the watershed. Right down this edge here's where we got those sets. So I'm gonna get the truck back down there and get those sets checked, guys. And I brought another tool with me this morning. It's not really necessary for me to need it no more than what I'm gonna carry back in there. But when we get up here, I'll show you guys another tool that I've got in my toolbox that I can pull out and use if needed. And it's a lifesaver when you're out here wading around in the water and having to pull or carry traps and equipment with you. And I'll show you guys what that is when we get out here and get in the water, get to walking back in there to that hut. All right, guys, I don't know what happened, but got out of the truck and recorded walking down here to this set. This is that first set that we made, and getting the reset made, and for some reason the camera didn't record. I thought it was recording, but anyway, it didn't. Show you guys what I did. Basically, when we pulled up this morning, that trap is sitting right here, and the whole top part of it was out of the water, so the water fell a good 4 to 6 inches last night. And because of that, what we did, we shifted everything back down into the deeper water and just pulled these sticks down. We splashed this back up to get it to shine and be wet, added a little bit of mud to our caster mound, and we've got those two scents right here. And I went ahead and brought another different caster scent with me this morning, a third scent. And what I did with it is right up here on top of this tree up high, I smeared some of that caster scent on it. And what I'm hoping to do by that is get that scent farther out across the lake. And if that beaver's swimming farther away, he'll get a whiff of it and narrow it down and come over here closer. I don't have to wait for him to actually be right here close to this to get a smell of that scent that we put right close on the ground. And the only other change I made, my stake, the ground's really hard here and I couldn't get my stake all the way down, so I just kind of camouflaged that in with some leaves a little bit. My trap is sitting, the water's pretty shallow up to about this point right here, and it drops off. There's a drop off there, and I put my trap right in front of that drop off. Took a little bit of blocking, blocked it down right here. We've got this debris that's floating up right here on this side of it, and what I'm hoping to do by this blocking is get him to come around that debris and approach that trap right through this area. And then right here on top of this blocking, I've got another little bit of that lure that I brought with me this morning. And by that, I'm hoping the trap's sitting right here in the water. So I'm hoping he'll come up here, put his nose and stuff on that, put his foot down as he hits that shallow spot. He'll put his foot down right on top of our trap and be caught in the morning. So that's the hope behind it. That's the theory. The sun was shining when I walked in here this morning. Another beautiful sunrise, and a little bit cool here in my part of the state this morning. I think we're down in the 40s, and then tonight we're supposed to get up in the 70s again. And we got storms rolling through tonight and all day tomorrow. Supposed to be some severe storms, so we'll see how all that plays out. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna back up here just a little bit farther, and we're gonna walk out there to that hut and see if we got a beaver caught there. Make a few other sets while we're out there. So stick with me, and we'll see you here in a minute. All right, guys, so we're headed out. Here's my little toy I brought with me. It's just an old plastic sled. My daughter uses this when the snow's on the ground to sled around the yard, or I pull her behind the Ranger, and then I get to use it when I'm beaver trapping water. I'm out here on foot, wading around. It works great in water, pulling behind you like this. And it sure beats carrying those traps by hand. So you can tell it's floating there. Looks like we got a little few holes in it from sledding this year. I'll have to fix those. But this little old sled right here will carry quite a bit of weight in it. The traps and stuff when you're out walking in these sloughs and ditches. But anyway, guys, our beaver dam's right out here. I'll check back in with you and we'll see if we got a catch there when we get to it. All right, guys, we're getting up here now to it. Can't see anything sticks out to me yet, but our sled's still holding up there, except for a few spots that's taking on a little bit of water. Grounding rod caught onto this stick. Something else, guys, too, just a reminder, and it's something that I don't do, but this morning as I was pulling that first stake up on that grounder, somehow or another that thing pinched me and pulled a big chunk of skin off right here below my pinky on the palm of my hand. So that's a good reminder, guys, that might be a good idea to carry a first aid kit with you in your vehicle, especially if you're out here by yourself and no one else around you. But that's something that I don't do, but just a reminder that it'd be a good idea to do. And guys, by looking at our sticks that we got anchored there, it looks like this trap hasn't been messed with. Normally if you make a catch and that trap springs, it'll throw these sticks out of position. So, but my anchor line's a little bit different. No, it didn't. It's just long. I remember throwing it up here yesterday when we were here. But I'm just going to take my setters here. I'm just going to reach right down here on that trap and make sure it's still set. And it is. I can feel both jaws still locked together. So no catches this morning. I'm gonna get right over here, guys, and put one of these footholds right here on this trail going up, and then we're gonna put the other one on a drowning rod. Both of them will be on a drowning rod. One of them right here at the bottom of this trail they're using to go up on top. And I'll leave it unscented tonight. See if we can catch them just using it. And if we don't make a catch tomorrow, I'll probably come back in here and put a little bit of castor scent up here just to try to draw them to where I want them. And then we're going to put the other trap right here in this hole. And same thing there, we may put a little bit of lure up it if we don't make a catch on it tonight. But hang tight, guys. I'm going to get everything out of here and set up, and we'll get these two drowners put in. I'm gonna go a little bit deeper. Normally I'd want this a little bit higher up there, but with that water dropped about I don't know, 4 or 6 inches last night, so I want to plan for that and set this just a little bit deeper than what I normally would, so as that water falls, it won't bring that trap out of the water. We're just gonna put that, take our split ring there, and we're just gonna attach it to our drowning piece. Just like that. Get our trap set. I gotta come right down here. We're just gonna make us clear this debris and stuff out right here. Ooh, that water burns that cut. Ooh, swap hands. They're going to notice this debris being pulled up here too that hadn't been being here. Just going to kind of make that look just a little bit more like that's exactly where we want them to go. Alright, so we're going to take that trap and we're just going to place it right down there in the water. Ugh. Oh goodness. Alright, so that sets in. I'm gonna take one of these smaller sticks, go right here on my drowning rod, right in front of my mechanism, my trap. I'm gonna place that stick in there. That's just gonna tell me if the trap's gone past that point or if it's still sitting up here on the bank. So that sets in, guys. We're gonna move right over here. Do the same thing. If you guys notice on that last drowning rod, I had a washer welded up here. On this one, all this is a swivel for your traps. Goes in your anchor chain, and I had some extra swivels laying around, so I took. Actually, this is one of the cheaper swivels that I replaced with a heavier dutier one. And I just welded this cheaper one on top of this rod, and that's what I use for my anchoring point. Put my stake through. We're gonna do the same thing here, guys. We're just gonna push that rod out there into deeper water. Push that end down into the mud. We may catch a raccoon in this one. There's coon tracks right here on the edge of this thing. Just like that. Now my slider's done one down here to the bottom. So, oh, there it is. And get one of our traps here. Now I've got this one rigged with an extension cable. So we're just going to take this extension cable off here and attach this trap to that drowning rod. Again, just kind of work that cable through that split ring there. All right, we've got the cable off. I'm gonna go ahead and roll it up while I got it in my hands. If I don't, it'll be a mess and all tangled up and everything. So just a small 6/8 inch loop there, guys. And we're gonna take this loose end and just work it around 3 or 4 times. Do the same thing up here, work this one around in the opposite direction, and the cable's secured now. We don't have to worry about it getting tangled up. So all that's left here is attaching this trap. I'll go ahead and I'm just gonna pull that split ring off. And we're gonna attach that trap there where that ring was with this other ring. Oh, that water burns. Whoo! All right, I'll get this trap set and placed right here where we want it. That pan's a little bit stiff, so I'm just gonna work it a minute, loosen it up. All right, it's set there. We're gonna take it and we're gonna place it. We don't want to put it, normally we'd put it right up here under the water, just where the pan's just barely under the water. But with that water dropping, I want to place it on out here a little bit farther. That stake pushed all the way down. Make sure our slide's still going to function. Now it's going to take one of these smaller sticks up here and do the same thing, place in front of that mechanism, so I'll know if it's going past or not. That's it, guys. So if anything comes up here to use this hole, we'll have it caught in this foothold here. So that's it. That's all I'm going to do right now. Hopefully we'll have a catch in the morning. If we don't, guys, I'll probably go around this edge up here that I've been driving and place a few more scent mounds, caster mounds, try to draw them to me. We may have pushed them out of this side of the lake, being in here walking around yesterday. So it may not be a bad idea to wait 2 or 3 days to come back in here, but to let them settle and move back over to this area without us coming in here every day. But then again, it's right down from the house, so I'll just be walking out here to check them every day now. I won't be disturbing it much or sticking around long. So anyway, just never turn that brain off, guys. Always think through things and think what might work or what might not work, and then base your decisions off of your thinking and what they might do instead of what you've always done. Don't be afraid to change things up. But that's it, guys. I'll probably end up, like I said, if I don't make catches tomorrow, I'll probably add more sets in different locations. One spot that necks down, it's a choke point, is up there by the bridge where I parked the first day. That's the only access going to both sides of the lake, and so I'll put probably on each side of that, I'll put a caster mound, a scent mound, see if we can draw them up there. All right, guys, I brought an extra foothold with me this morning. I don't have another drowning rod. It's just gonna have to be on a chain, but I come up here, this is where I was talking about, on this bridge, where the bridge goes under here. It's a choke point to where if they're swimming, going back and forth, they're gonna go under this bridge. So I'm just gonna get here and look along the edge and see which of these 4 corners is gonna be best for me to set on. And I'm gonna place that other foothold. I know there's some peeled sticks and they've been using this over here. Didn't see any mounds the other day when I was fishing, but there's a few up here that they pushed up. So I'm just gonna, out here as well. All this over here is pretty shallow. This is actually a road that goes around the property here, and it's just flooded now, but right off this edge it drops off pretty deep. So I think what I'm gonna do, I don't have any way to anchor that foothold today, and by just having it anchored by chain, it's not going to be considered a kill trap. So I'm just going to wait, and when I come back tomorrow, I'll bring another drowning rod with me. I may bring a couple, I may put some on each side of this bridge. Probably definitely going to put one right here with them coming up and marking it and using this. I'm gonna go ahead and walk over here to this other side and these other corners and look at them a little bit closer. But definitely bring one drowning rod and put right here. I'm not Not really seeing any evidence here of them. Check this side over here. There's something interesting right there in the water. So I'm not seeing, there's some peeled sticks that's washed up here on the edge. Right here's a mound that they use, so we may bring another caster mound, a drowner, and we'll make something right here on this point. So we'll bring two and put right here by this bridge tomorrow. Let's check out what this is. Guys, you may not want to watch any longer. It's going to be an animal that's laid out here and decomposed. It's going to be a coyote with a head gone off of it, so chances are somebody probably, well, head may have just rotted off. It has, so head's just hanging on by some skin out there in the water. But looks like that coyote maybe got hit by a car, or anyhow died somehow, ended up in this lake and is rotted. But smells pretty rank too. All right, guys, so that's gonna be it for today. I'll bring some drowning rods and footholds and put right here tomorrow. I'm gonna drive this edge real slow all the way down. I won't show it on film. I'm just gonna watch down through here and see if I maybe missed a crossover the other day, or can tell where they're really putting some scent mounds up. All right, guys, just something I've noticed. I'm gonna bring another set and put right in here somewhere. I don't know how well you'll be able to tell on camera, but there's about 4 or 5 mounds right through this little section of the levee. We're just basically right here on the corner of the woods, and they've got there's more than 4 or 5. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 different mounds just right along the edge. And it's not really a lot of mud, it's just leaf piles with a little bit of debris where they grabbed them off the bottom and pushed up here to the edge, marking their territory. So I may have these guys figured completely wrong, thinking they're living over here on the other side of the lake, and they may be over here on this side of the lake, where I actually don't have any traps at all back in this corner in the woods. So I'm gonna bring a couple of sets and put in here tomorrow, and I may even bring some snares and hang out in a little bit deeper water on the side of those trees, and see if we can't pick them up that way. But anyway, I'll be bringing some more sets with me tomorrow, and we're going to look harder at this side of the lake over here. I thought I'd show you guys that. All right, turned around and going back out now, guys, and this is the other side, just opposite of where we saw those caster mounds. And I think right here, I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but there's a pretty good indention right here. And I think that's when all those beavers were living in here. This was probably one of their crossovers over this levee where they were coming across. But it's definitely not used like it has been in the past. But one thing I'm not seeing on this side over here is those caster mounds where they're pushing up, marking territory. So that makes me think that this other side of the levee over here may be a territorial boundary with having those 7 or 8 mounds pushed up there. That's them marking a line for their territory. Not being on this side of the lake makes me think that they're back over here on this side over here in these woods. So I'm gonna go ahead and drive around this lake, go over to the levee, over there, and we're gonna drive down it and just take a look at it, see if we can find another boundary marking, and some places to put some sets over there. So now I'm beginning to think, with not making a catch over here last night, I'm thinking those beaver may be living on the other side. But we're gonna go over there and look at it and see if we can tell what's going on a little better. Just another tip, guys, whenever you're trapping these watershed areas, watch for your drainage ditches coming in. This right here is a ditch on the other side of the lake. That's a drainage ditch that runs into the lake over here. And right on that point where this ditch meets the main lake, there's a beaver hut. This is the one I was telling you about the other day that I could see with my eye, but you guys couldn't see. Now I'm gonna go ahead and walk down here to it just to show you, you know, where this drainage comes out. But that's a good area that the beavers are going to locate any intersecting waterways. Like we got the lake, and then we got this ditch going into it. So that's a place you want to look whenever you're out scouting properties, trying to locate them. it's a good spot for a hut. But I'm gonna walk down here and I'll show you guys that beaver hut, and I'm gonna take a look at it just to make sure they're not using it. From the boat the other day, it didn't look like they were. It didn't look active to me, but I haven't been actually right up to it yet. So with us changing our mind on what we think the beaver are doing, I'm going to go ahead and walk down here and take a closer look at it. So right here's the ditch, is the drainage ditch coming into the lake, guys, and then right here on this point is a hut. As of right now, I'm really not seeing too many new sticks placed on top of it. We'll get over here on the front side and give it a better look. A little bit of wet leaves pushed up right here. I'm not seeing any beaver tracks in the mud. I'm not really seeing any new stuff pushed up here on top. There is some leaves and stuff where they pushed up in the past. That one wet spot, that almost looks like something's dug at it, like a squirrel or something's coming here, a raccoon or something, possum's dug at that a little bit. It's what that looks like to me, instead of being pushed up here. But there's an entrance. There's an entrance coming in right here, and this is really deep. It drops off really deep right here, and then another entrance right over there. And but I don't think they're using it. There's several bank dens down this edge too, but I was able to get right beside them in the boat, and they didn't look like they were active. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go on up here and drive down this levee and just take a look at it, see if we can see anything out across the lake that strikes interest with us. But hang tight, and if I see anything else, I'll check back in with you guys. Alright guys, so I'm over here now and I'm driving down this levee, and back over, as far as you can see over, that's the road and the bridge we were on earlier. But I'm driving down this levee now, and I'm not seeing anything. I'm looking out across there on that other side, and I'm trying to see if I see any cutting, shining, or activity, or chews, anything like that. I'm watching down here on the edge just for a bunch of castor mounds or just any kind of activity. I'm not seeing anything that sticks out to me. I'm gonna drive on down here to this edge, this little corner where it cuts around here. Just look down here, see anything, and then go back across the levee. To stop and show you guys always when you're out scouting, especially a new place you're not familiar with, always check out the drainage system of the water, and there'll be activity around it. When I first come in here, there was a heck of a crossover where they coming across this big levee going into the drainage ditch, and picked up several animals at that location. Just now I come through there, and of course it's all grown up. You can't even tell where it was at now. But anyway, I'm gonna walk down here and check this corner out, just look around this area, and then head back out of here. All right guys, here's the drainage I was talking about. You can see water coming out into this drainage ditch here, and over here's the drain itself, over here where this pipe's at. And I can see, normally you'd want to, there's going to be a crossover. If you're setting up someplace like this, there's going to be a crossover where the animals are coming off of this side over to this drainage ditch. So if you'll look in that area, find that crossover, that's going to be a place you're going to want to set. But I'm going to walk down here. I can see a stick sticking up beside that pipe, so I'm going to walk out there to it, and it's just draining fairly well. I mean, it went down a good 6-8 inches last night. But the problem that they're having, the reason they want me trapping these beavers, is because you can tell, guys, now that we get down in here, you can tell these little mounds that they pushed up right here. So this right here may be my This may be my spot for catching these beaver quick. I'm gonna walk out here to it if I can, if it doesn't get too deep, and see how much they've got that stopped up, and see if I can pull some of that debris out of it. And yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get to it. It's gonna be, I'm already up to my waist. So if I don't get these beavers caught out of here in a few days, I'm probably not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. And this is real close to my house. So if I don't catch these beaver within a couple of days, and the problem, I really thought I'd have a catch last night. Hopefully we will tomorrow. But if I don't, usually that's when you get disappointed, is whenever you have hope or think you're doing it right. But if I don't get these beaver caught, this is such a big area, 2 beavers, it's just hard to pinpoint them down, especially if they're skittish. And I'm working that area over there, they're gonna move over here. If I move over here, set traps, they're gonna move over here. If I move over here, set traps, they're gonna move over there. It's just hard to pinpoint them down in such a large, vast area. So what I'll do if I don't get them caught in a couple of days, I'm gonna let this water go back down to where I can see that drain, where it's below the drain. And when it gets to that point, I'll get out here, and they'll probably have it clogged off or blocked off trying to hold the water. But I'll basically use this drain itself as a dam break, and I'll clean that debris out of that drain. And the beaver, it's going to bring those beaver wherever they're at over this lake. It's going to bring them to this one point to want to fix that water leaving the area. And at this one point, I'll be able to pinpoint where they're going to be, what they're going to do, and I'll get them caught. So if I don't get them caught in the next couple of days, I'm not going to waste my time anymore chasing them around. I'm going to pull all my traps. I'm going to wait until the water goes down, and then I'll come back in here when it gets below that, and I'll catch them both right here at this point where I know they're going to be, right out here in the middle of this lake in the opening. I can put a drowning rod on it. You can bait it. You can do it just like you do any other set. Do a drowning rod, tie it off to the drain, have a foothold trap there, or I can hang snares from that pipe itself and catch them as they're swimming around, get them caught in a snare. Or I wouldn't use a conibear, as wide open as it is, it's not going to blend in well, but I'm going to either use a foothold on a drowner or a foothold on a chain, and or a snare attached to that drainage system, and catch them as they're swimming around it to clean it off. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do if I don't get them caught in the next couple. I've done repeating myself again, but that's the plan, guys. So stick with me, and we'll see how it turns out. Either we'll have them the next couple of days, or I'll be back with you when this water drains down, and I'll show you how I'm going to set this drain up to get those beavers caught.